Ladies and gentlemen, this bout of the evening is sanctioned by the WBC, Jose Suleiman, President, and by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Bob Fremoyle, Chairman, Roy Tennyson, Executive Secretary, with Commissioner Art Lurie in attendance. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission at this time, the judges are Dwayne Ford, Dolby Shirley, and Hal Miller. The timekeeper is Al Bisick, counting at the knockdowns, Charlie Roth. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo and Flip Pomansky, and the referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing in the blue corner, the challenger, rated number 3 by the WBC in the world, fighting out of Pontiac, Michigan, weighing 216 pounds. He is undefeated in his professional career with 24 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, and 20 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, Pinky Thomas. And in the red corner, introducing the WBC champion of the world in the heavyweight division. He fights out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He weighed in at 217 pounds. His professional record consists of 18 wins, 1 defeat with 12 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion, Terrible Tim Witherspoon.
Okay, I gave both fighters instructions in the dressing room. I want to caution you, obey my commands at all times. When I say break, stop punching, take a step back. Protecting yourself at all times. Shake hands, good luck to both of you.
Bring it back. They say the heavyweight division isn't what it used to be, and they may be right. Certainly as far as the color of the challenger's trunks, pink. It didn't used to be that way.
But I'll tell you, if your name is Pinky, you've got to be tough.
You got to fight.
Grandfather named Franklin, grandmother named Pinky. They combined them, and it became Pinklin. And he's actually the second of the Pinklins, and his son is also a Pinklin.
And here's a guy who has not changed the expression on his face in the 4 days that we've been here in Las Vegas. He has looked exactly the same at all times. And incidentally, one other note as we get started here in the first round, that Tim Witherspoon actually got a mixture of cheers and boos when he was introduced. So as we mentioned, he's a champion, but he has to treat himself as a challenger. He's got a lot to prove.
What I've noticed, both fighters are standing straight up, and they're winning their best shots. So we could have a flash flood knockdown. Well, there's no perspiration. I guess that's because of the national anthem. Pinky Thomas has that good left jab, good strong left jab. Tim Witherspoon works the body very well. Very strong inside.
He has said he's got to punch more, he's got to be more active, and he said he was going to do that. Now we'll see if the man can change his style. We saw one man try to change his style in a fight just a moment ago, and we saw him lose. Greg Page was a different Greg Page, but the result was a loss to David Bay.
Both fighters are very tight at this point, Barry, and they're just trying to establish themselves with their left jabs.
Thomas, former track man, has very good legs, good solid looking fighter. Takes a good chopping right hand by Tim Witherspoon.
That's going to happen throughout the fight as long as both fighters are standing straight up.
And Thomas content to keep that left hand down around his waistband and just inviting that right hand lead.
You notice that Tim Witherspoon always finishes off by throwing a body shot. He's a very good body puncher. He knows exactly how to wear his man down and then take advantage of it.
Neither one of these fighters has been around for a long time, interesting to note.
Well, I think natural talent, Barry, both fighters has, and just that natural raw physical strength that compensates for the inexperience.
Witherspoon, 19 years old when he started fighting. Pinky Thomas, 21 years old when he started fighting. Only had 3 amateur fights. Actually, a little bit of swelling early along the left eye of Pinky Thomas.
Well, they're both just wailing away at each other, and they're standing in front. No movement, no lateral movement, no angles. They're right in front of each other.
There's a 2-punch combination by Thomas. pretty early to have any swelling, and Thomas does have just ever so slight an amount on the cheek. He took a good punch that time from Tim Witherspoon.
Oh, look at the right hand of Pinklon Thomas. He drops it every time he extends that left jab. A left hook by Tim Witherspoon would be beautiful.
Something to watch for, and he does, in fact, do that. Tim Witherspoon, true to his word, has been much more active in round one here.
Let's go into the corner of Tim Witherspoon, the champion.
Pushing your jab, all right? Jab, left hook. Left hook up off the jab, all right? All right? Give him a little wrench.
Aaron Snow is 24 years old, a trainer, probably the youngest trainer ever of a heavyweight champion.
All right? You jab, left hook, Tim. You keep pushing your jab, all right?
And there you see with his back to you, the veteran trainer Angelo Dundee, who was brought in just 2 weeks ago to be with Pinklon Thomas.
And stay loose. See what you do licks this fella, right? Let's do it. Just stay loose. Don't get tight. Come on.
Angelo Dundee is looking for his 10th world champion in this fight. He is 63 years old. Just yesterday, in fact, Ray.
Happy birthday, Angelo.
We'll see if it is or not.
Angelo Dundee does have a way of getting the attention of his fighter in the corner. I'll say that, Ray.
Well, if someone's smacking your thigh, it brings you back to life. And that's what Angelo's trying to do with Pinklon Thomas. He doesn't want his man to remain stiff and tight. He wants him to loosen up a bit.
And Pinklon Thomas is straight up and down here, and right now the better jabs are coming from Tim Witherspoon.
And now Pinklon Thomas floating that left jab. Once again, the right hand of Pinklon Thomas is down. He drops it. I don't see why Tim Witherspoon is not taking advantage of it. There's the right hand.
It was a good punch, even though Tim Witherspoon was falling away when he threw it. Another quick right hand lead. And Thomas keeps that left hand down by his side, too, until he flicks the jab, and then he drops his right hand.
I'm more so concerned with that right hand of Pinklon Thomas because the left hand, his shoulders are protecting him. But that right hand always bothers me. He's just too straight up, I mean, jabs, right hands can easily connect rather.
Witherspoon scoring with some proficiency here.
What's going to be the case?
Good combination by Thomas that time. Might have stunned or at least gotten the attention of Tim Witherspoon.
And what's doing the damage is the left jab of Pinklon Thomas because it's like a right hand because he's converted southpaw.
Witherspoon picking up the pace early on here, something he has not done in the past. He promised everybody he would. He's been true to his word so far. But he's got a tough customer in front of him tonight.
I've seen both fighters much more relaxed in other fights than I've seen tonight.
Combination by Witherspoon, both score. Thomas seems to telegraph his punches a little bit too.
For Pinklon, especially when he throws that right hand to the body, it's open glove, so it's not really that effective.
Right hand lead that time by Thomas.
Just then, Tim Witherspoon switched to southpaw. He didn't land. They both seem so tight to me, though.
Right hand by Thomas, or rather by Witherspoon again. As Ray Leonard mentioned earlier, Pinklon Thomas, a converted southpaw. In fact, he is really left-handed. He writes left-handed, does most things left-handed. Good right hand combination by Pinklon Thomas. Jab is effective when it does get in. Heavy-handed, Pinklon Thomas. We want to remind you that we have plenty of boxing coming your way here on HBO. Another outstanding fight card, World Championship Boxing coming up on Friday, October 19th. We will be in New York at Madison Square Garden where marvelous Marvin Hagler, the undisputed middleweight champion, tries it again against Mustafa Hamsho. Hamsho much improved from the last time these two saw each other. And a lot of people are saying that perhaps marvelous Marvin Hagler can be had. Hagler, of course, doesn't think so.
Deep breath. You got it. Don't worry about it. You got it. Got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Go inside.
Spit it out.
Drip a shot under the heart and bring it back over the top. Quick movements up top.
Let's see you go.
Is that good? No, that's too small. From one jab at a time now. You time it. Right hand, left hook.
Tim Witherspoon asked if Thomas's eye was cut. Perhaps he saw some reddening there. These are two big, strong men just standing in front of each other and punching away.
That's exactly what's happened. This whole fight has been fought in the center of the ring. It's a 20-foot square. It's been fought in about 4-foot square.
Well, there's just a little redness under the eyes of Pinklon Thomas. And I'm sure Tim Witherspoon wants to go after it and make it worse.
And Witherspoon continues to work very hard offensively.
Once again, Witherspoon turns southpaw. What's happening? Both fighters are just trying to load up with one big punch. Those are good shots to the body by Witherspoon.
Very good body shot. Witherspoon looking very sharp. Takes that jab again. When Thomas gets that jab inside, it is a very effective punch, and it actually snaps the head of his opponent back. Another thing to keep in mind is that Thomas is a fighter who historically has fought better in the later rounds.
Well, now Thomas just tried to land a good right hand. And what you're saying now, both fighters getting relaxed. Good body shot with the left hook to the body thrown by Tim Witherspoon. But as I was saying, Barrett, they're both fighters getting loose now. And you'll see more punches thrown.
Witherspoon staying very busy so far, being pretty sharp with his punches. Both men actually fairly sharp with their punches.
He has to be very careful with this one way he walks away, because what can happen, Pinklon Thomas can rush in and land some shots.
Witherspoon talking to Thomas, saying, come on, come on. That's a good left hook. Some pretty heavy punches being landed through the first 2.5 rounds here. Witherspoon a little bit short with the right hand. We had his man open. Witherspoon did an interesting thing there. Before he took 2 punches from Thomas, he just took a big, deep breath.
But he stood directly in front of Pinklon Thomas. That's why Pinklon was able to land. That jab just...
And he's still breathing through his mouth. And I don't know if there's some trouble. Might have been hit in the stomach or something and not caused him to catch his breath.
Witherspoon was blinking now. That jab, as I was stating, the jab of Pinklon Thomas is so strong and so devastating.
Thomas being very efficient here. And Witherspoon's pace has slowed considerably here in this round.
Now Pinklon is doing the right thing. He's starting to pick his shots.
Wild right hand by Witherspoon at the bell. Interesting round, I think, Larry.
I think that Thomas put some real hurt on Witherspoon in that round. A left jab made him blink. And for some reason, Witherspoon looked like he was sucking a little air there. I don't know what that was all about. There you see Witherspoon pouring through the defense. Thomas pouring through Witherspoon's defense. Here's another look at it. As you notice, Witherspoon tries to use his right hand as a parrying defensive weapon. And what Thomas is trying to do is find ways to come around it, both with the right and the left hooks.
Back them up.
Right hand around the body. You know, got your mouth. Too hard. Right, your legs. All right, let's go. Jab, right hand around the body, left hook up top. All right?
This is the 4th round. And Pinklon Thomas started to exert himself in that last round.
Well, Witherspoon was instructed to work that body, right hand to the body and back up to the head. But he has to get inside first. And what's going to get him inside, Barry, is the left jab.
Backhanded him. And Richard Steele steps in and says, you can't do that.
That was a version of Bruce Lee.
We have seen that a number of times tonight. You know, you can almost see a fighter when he decides that he's got respect for his man, and that's the way Tim Witherspoon looks to me right now. It looks like he's thinking, this guy can hurt me.
I'm sure he's aware of that. And I noticed that Witherspoon is constantly blinking his eye. It appears to me it's starting to bother him. Witherspoon doesn't appear to me, Barry, to be in the fight. I mean, he just doesn't seem as confident as I've seen him in his previous fights.
He's blinking like a fighter who might have been thumbed. I didn't see that happen, but it's not inconceivable that it could have.
I mean, Witherspoon was just not as aggressive. He's just there. And you notice that Thomas is just taking advantage of it. And he's picking his shots. He's using the left jab very well. And what's protecting Thomas is his shoulders, because Tim Witherspoon's punches a roundhouse and is riding over Thomas' shoulders.
Witherspoon covering up, and Thomas still scoring. A little bit of swelling, not appreciably, but a little bit of swelling along the left eye of Tim Witherspoon. He's taken a lot of shots.
I've noticed that Witherspoon puts both feet together. Very bad. It's so easy to be knocked down or knocked off balance.
You know, the other side of the coin, we talked about the fact that Thomas is a straight up and down fighter, but he does always seem to be on balance when he punches. He's flat-footed, really seems to get the most out of his punches. That was a good right hand by Witherspoon.
Watch the jab. Look at the jab of Pinklon Thomas. I mean, he's starting to double up now. And what Witherspoon is doing, he's starting to telegraph that right hand. Pinklon Thomas is waiting for it, and that's why he just covers up.
Thomas pacing himself as he has in most every fight. For a moment, Witherspoon goes southpaw again, now switches back.
Look at that left jab just getting through. And it's consistent, Barry. And it's starting to bother Witherspoon.
Witherspoon breathing through his mouth a little bit. He's absorbed a lot of punishment, actually. There hasn't been the one big punch. But Thomas has got that jab in his face, and it's a very effective jab. You can just hear it snap every time he uses it.
Exactly. He's snapping it. It appears to me he's waiting for it to get his right hand in, because his jab is definitely finding its way through the defense of Witherspoon.
Yeah, all right, start putting a little bit more pressure on him. Start squatting down and shooting jabs. Start shooting jabs. Squat down on him. Your legs are a little bit too straight up in the air, all right? Start squatting down, start pumping. You want to step to him now, all right? Make him use his legs, all right? Make him lose his legs now, all right? Jab, yeah. Jab, left hook to the body. It's a good right hand up top. Yeah, it's a good fight, Tim. All right? Just put a little more pressure on him.
A little bit.
Pick it up. Get looser with that jab. Get looser with that jab.
He's trying to get loose.
No, come on. Well, stop backing up. And when he turns southpaw, jab him. You can't jab him when he turns southpaw. Get up. Come on. Get up, next champ. Come on.
You heard Witherspoon ask whether it was a good fight. Once again, his concern that he is performing so that the public will appreciate his performance. But of course, he's got to win.
You know, Angelo instructed Pinklon Thomas, once Tim Witherspoon turns to southpaw, to release that left jab, because he can catch him while he's in motion.
Well, the jab has been very effective for Pinklon Thomas, and he seems, for the last round and a half or so, to have taken charge in this fight.
That right out, Barry, is really bothering Tim Witherspoon. He's blinking now.
Seems to be. One of the three punches landed by Witherspoon, and now he retreats to the ropes.
Witherspoon is so concerned on whether or not he's looking good or whether or not it's a good fight that I think it's just breaking his concentration.
Subscribing to the theory that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you look playing the game.
Well, and that's the way to make more money, too. You got to be impressive, and I think that's what's on his mind.
You know, the other thing that strikes me, too, about the way Witherspoon fights, Witherspoon seems to be looking at the belt buckle of Pinklon Thomas and not into his eyes.
Well, I don't know exactly what his strategy is. I mean, he's been going to the body whatever opportunity he has, but he has not been consistent enough. Whereas at Pinkley Thomas, I mean, he's moving away. He's using his footwork. He steps out of reach of Witherspoon. Look, he's very loose in there.
Backhanded him again. And once more, Richard Steele gives him a warning about it.
And that could prove to be costly if they deduct the round.
You know, just as we said earlier, that Witherspoon seems at this point to respect the fact that Thomas can hurt him. The opposite, I feel, is true about Thomas. I believe he doesn't think that Witherspoon can hurt him.
Well, Witherspoon has yet to land some big punches.
Good right hand there by Thomas. And there's a lunging shot by Witherspoon once more.
It could possibly, like I said, but it could, well, he's deducting one round. And now you may see frustration in the eyes of Tim Witherspoon, which he can lose his composure and leave himself wide open.
So 1 point deducted from Tim Witherspoon by Richard Steele. 2 warnings in this round for backhanding.
You know something? I mean, Pinkley Thomas is so relaxed, Barry. I mean, he's in control. He feels he's totally dominating this fight. And he's showing no respect whatsoever to Tim Witherspoon.
That's what I say. He's fighting like a man who doesn't feel that he can be hurt. Last time I said that, you got knocked down.
Let's not talk about that, okay?
If indeed Thomas won that round on the judges' cards, it would be a 2-point round, as good as a big knockdown round. Now there you see where he came back with his backhand. This is the wrong sport for a backhand. There you'll see it again there. It's an instinctive reaction. He's not doing it deliberately, and he's sorry almost immediately as he hits his opponent, but it cost him a point that could be an important point. Lunging right hand by Witherspoon, showing some frustration on his part. Now he's got to start thinking of winning and not looking good. Right now the champion is behind in this fight.
Some of the best punches of the fight are being thrown by Angelo Dundee between rounds, I'll tell you that.
Pump it. That's it. Step. Make it back up.
So this is the 6th round. And again, Witherspoon comes out blinking his eyes.
Pump it. Don't wait on him. There you go. Don't wait.
Thomas has been so good as far as getting away from those punches thrown by Witherspoon. It seems as though he knows exactly when to move that head.
You're waiting on him, Tim.
He's very, very calm also. Seems to be in control. And he seems to have Witherspoon confused.
Well, that is the key to the fight. In fact, Thomas is far more relaxed than Witherspoon.
Now, Thomas took 2 left hooks by Witherspoon. Might have been his best shots, and he didn't back him up at all.
Oh, look for one shot. Oh, look for one shot.
Now back to the southpaw, and he was caught. And what I see in Witherspoon, he's just floating his jab out. He's southpaw, and I still see that the blinking in Witherspoon, that his eyes, whatever eye it is, it's really bothering him.
Well, Thomas showing an uncanny ability to get through those gloves on the jab.
And now I see Witherspoon is rushing in.
And Witherspoon looked at Richard Steele about something. I'm not too sure, but Witherspoon's not hurt here.
His eyes is really bothering, but I see now he's blinking both eyes now.
Definitely is, and I think he wanted to tell Richard Steele something, but remember the credo of protect yourself at all times. Thomas goes downstairs.
What Thomas should do, he should stay on the outside and use that jab. Because quite naturally, the eyes are bothering, his eyes are really bothering him now, and he can just pick them off.
We haven't heard any conversation in Witherspoon's corner about any problem with his eyes, but the fact is he has been blinking for most of the fight.
Look at the left jab of Pinkley Thomas. It's getting through the defense of Witherspoon so easily now.
And a right hand comes right over the top. And again the jab, right through the gloves. Radar jab.
Thomas' jab is getting through beautiful, but I think he should put some more punches together. Right hand, left hook.
But he is picking the tempo up here. Coming with the right hand a lot more than he was early.
That left jab is devastating. Just snapping the head of Tim Witherspoon.
And Witherspoon a right hand and a left hand to the chin of Pinklon Thomas. But again, Thomas doesn't take a backward step.
See, Thomas, he's using that shoulder again.
That was a good left hand by Thomas. And now he follows it up.
Don't hold him. Keep him up.
Shut up, I'm the champ, man. Let's fight. Let's fight. That's all, too. Let's come on.
All right. He's shooting out one jab on you, Tim. So he's doing. You're going to catch it some and slip some. All right? That jab, that's all. I'm getting him, too.
Let's take a look here and see if Thomas can, how he's trying to penetrate Witherspoon's cover-up defense here. There was an exchange in the corner there that is very interesting. There's a lot of advice coming to the champion saying you can't let up, you got to go after him. And Witherspoon responded, let's not panic, I'm the champion.
So Witherspoon, obviously, in his mind at least, knows what he's doing. Should also point out, this fight is for 12 rounds. Championship fight, WBC, 12, not 15.
And what has been doing the most damage has been the left jab. Especially for Pinklon Thomas.
I'm really impressed with the left jab of Pinklon Thomas. I really am. One of the best I've seen in the heavyweight division in a long time. Pinklon Thomas, just a good athlete. He's a track man, played basketball, played a little football. Look at that jab.
That jab was beautiful.
I'll tell you, he makes Tim Witherspoon look like one of those dogs in the back of a car.
Those body shots now are starting to hurt Pinklon Thomas. But Witherspoon doesn't stay down long enough.
That was a good left hand by Witherspoon.
I don't think Pinklon Thomas should be there because he's doing a much better job and he's far more effective on the outside, just using that left jab. Inside, he's taking a chance of being caught by one of those roundhouse punches thrown by Witherspoon.
An overhand right by Witherspoon. Thomas, right at the moment, looks like he might be a little bit tired. That was a good right hand by Witherspoon.
Again, Bud, Pinklon Thomas doesn't want to be inside fighting Tim Witherspoon's fight. He should be outside because he's giving Witherspoon an opportunity to land some of those punches. The left jab has been working great for Pinklon Thomas. And especially he can do much more damage to the eyes because Witherspoon has been blinking throughout the fight. So that left jab will come in handy.
And Witherspoon getting the better of it inside. Good right hand. That hurt Thomas. Thomas opens up, however. He was hurt, and he came right back and hurt Witherspoon. Might have been the best exchange of the fight on both sides.
Now you see what's happening. Become going for punch for punch.
There was a right hand. He measured Witherspoon with the right and hurt him.
Pinklon Thomas showed us some championship gumption right there. He looked tired. He caught a fusillade of punches and came back with a bigger fusillade. Right now, in my judgment, the champion is in very serious trouble unless he puts his challenger down somewhere along the way. I think we're going to see a change of title here.
It's a series of punches thrown by Pinker Thomas. He's been very impressive using that left jab and really doing a number on Tim Witherspoon. The left jab has been bothering Tim throughout the fight.
Witherspoon was a little shocked to see Thomas come back the way he did. It's still early. There are 5 rounds to go. But Witherspoon has got to get going.
And one thing to mention along those lines, Witherspoon was a little bit slow, or rather, Thomas was a little bit slow going back to his corner at the end of that last round. And he was leaning on Tim Witherspoon during the round. Now, maybe he was just taking a little bit of a blow. We'll see.
And now the jab of Witherspoon is starting to become effective. He's starting to land consistently. And he's starting to come to life now.
A lot of solid jabs in this fight.
Good body shot by Witherspoon.
Very effective jabs on both sides now. Witherspoon still seems to aim his right hand a little bit.
He's not, Witherspoon's not blinking as much, so it appears that his vision is starting to clear up. It's frustrating to have a left jab in your face, but to have a strong left jab that is capable of knocking you back. You really don't like that. It's really discouraging.
There is just the slightest bit of reddening over the left eye of Pinker Thomas. It's not anything that's a factor right at the moment, but one of those things to watch. Both men scoring here.
You see the way that Pinker Thomas shies away from that right hand. Pinker is so strong, he just throws arm punches. He really doesn't put his body behind his punches. And as strong as he is,
and there again, it might have been thumbed that time. Witherspoon blinking his eyes, trying to stay away, and you know he's having troubles here. We'll have to try to take a look at that, see if there was a thumb involved, Larry, at the end of this round.
It just happens so quickly. It's so hard to detect unless you hit the replay.
Witherspoon fights off the ropes, lunging punches.
Very good body movement by Pinker Thomas.
And Witherspoon just stands there and took a couple of good shots. No question, but the right eye was bothering him. Does not seem to be bothering him right at the moment, however.
If Pinker Thomas will throw some shots and wants to get inside, he just keep throwing punches. If he decides to fight that in that manner. But he's doing a very good job staying on the outside with the left jab.
Witherspoon being active here and scoring probably the heavier of the two here in this round.
Witherspoon came back in that round. He turned it around a bit. The question now is whether he can sustain it.
Okay. Tommy.
Hey. Hold up. Step with the jab. Step with the jab. Take the jab. Go on left hook.
Now let's see what happened where Witherspoon came out blinking his eye. Right there. And I believe I did see a thumb there. It was absolutely thumbed with that punch. Right there you could see the thumb. It's plain as a picture.
It's just so unfortunate a thumb can change the whole fight around.
Tim Witherspoon has 4 rounds left to defend his title successfully.
Well, right there, you did get a look at really what is the magic of television. It was definitely a thumb. It does not seem to be bothering Tim Witherspoon right at the moment. That is the right eye.
what happens, Bird, once Thomas lands a jab to that eye, Witherspoon starts to blink again. And what I'm sure he's going through is blurred vision.
Witherspoon started to load up a little bit over the last 2 rounds. And the swelling over the left eye of Pinklon Thomas a little bit worse than it was now. Witherspoon the more active of the 2 over the last round and a half.
Very good lead-off right by Witherspoon. For Witherspoon, his best bet is to get inside and work that body and stay aggressive.
Good left hook by Witherspoon. Witherspoon started to load up a little bit here.
Well, he's getting away a lot of rounds, and in fact, he lost a point in one of the rounds for backhanding Pinklon Thomas. So he needs to get on the ball and become very aggressive.
Well, the jab of Pinklon Thomas has not been as effective in the last 2 rounds. And Tim Witherspoon has started to come around with some left hooks that have done some damage.
The way that Pinklon Thomas throws that left jab to the body. What he should do when he pop a left jab to the body, come upstairs with the right hand.
There's a little bit, I believe, a trickle of blood over the left eye of Pinklon Thomas. We'll wait till they square around face us to be sure about that.
It takes so much out of you when you miss a big punch throw like was thrown by Witherspoon.
Coming down toward the end of the 9th round now, and Witherspoon's been very active the last 2. Well, we want to remind you that tonight's presentation of Young Doctors in Love, there's an irony, all across the HBO network will certainly begin immediately following our coverage of World Championship Boxing, and the film, of course, will be seen in its entirety. Young Doctors in Love. Meanwhile, we're watching a couple of surgeons here in Las Vegas.
All right, turn the right hand over every time he shoots the jab to your stomach, because he's bending over like this. Turn it over. All in, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, son, 9 minutes. That's all we got. Okay, baby? All hang out.
Yeah, I got it. Up and down.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Don't worry about your inch. You got it. You deserve it, champ.
And throw the left hook. Turn it over with the right hand. Okay. When you go to the body with the left, turn it over.
I thought I heard Thomas complaining about his ribs there in the corner. He's been getting some good body shots. Witherspoon has come on in the last couple of rounds, and it's a question of whether he can keep it up for 3 more rounds. Conditioning and will determine the end of this fight.
Yeah, I thought I heard the same thing, Larry. I thought I heard him say, what about my ribs? And we, of course, will get all the answers afterward. And when he did get hit downstairs, he backed out of there pretty quickly.
Well, Witherspoon's a great body puncher. And I think if Witherspoon should stay downstairs, maybe he'll see a signal that Thomas is hurt downstairs.
Meanwhile, Thomas, I'm sure, will try to keep the jab in the face of Tim Witherspoon if he is hurt, and just try to keep his man off him. And hope that he's built up enough points over the early rounds. Another observation, too, that Pinklon Thomas is being, well, he just threw the right hand there. I was about to say he wasn't throwing the right hand very much, but he came with a couple of pretty good right hands over the top that time.
This would be, outside of marrying his beautiful wife, this would be a great achievement for Pinklon Thomas to win the world title.
Angelo Dundee saying 9 minutes. 9 minutes is all you got to go. And Pinklon Thomas, I'm sure, is counting every tick of that clock at this point.
Well, it's been a very fast pace. In fact, Angelo said just 9 minutes. It's a long 9 minutes. It's a tough 9 minutes.
Thomas again getting that jab through to the face of Tim Witherspoon. And Witherspoon again backhands him to the stomach.
That left jab has worked all night.
Witherspoon lunges at Thomas and got a pretty good left hand in that back Thomas against the ropes. Thomas seems to want to fight every time he gets hit.
The right hand is starting to drop again. So the left hook will probably land if Witherspoon get close enough inside.
Good left hook by Witherspoon again.
Fatigue is definitely setting aside of Pinklon Thomas, although he looked very impressive.
That was partially caught on the gloves of Pinklon Thomas.
But he doesn't need to take those kind of unnecessary punches, Barry. He can get outside and use that beautiful left jab that he has.
Thomas opens up and Witherspoon's back to the ropes.
Six minutes.
Witherspoon is still coming on. He doesn't seem to have the punch to stop Thomas. He's going to just have to overwhelm him in the last 2 rounds if he wants to win.
You only got 6 minutes. This ain't no 15-round fight. Go ahead. Champ of the world, baby. Spit it out.
Angelo Dundee is going after Thomas like a jockey on a horse coming down the stretch, trying to hold him together.
We only got 6 minutes.
Next round, Angelo say 3 minutes, baby. It's our title.
Now look, let it all hang
It's like showing the horse the whip.
You must not
When
back
he tried
up.
to spin you, you did good. Step right in front of him.
Take it.
Get his legs long. Pick him up.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars, perhaps millions of dollars at stake here in the last 2 rounds of a heavyweight championship fight. A good, tough championship fight. One of the better heavyweight fights of the last couple of years, I think.
In fact, the first one that we saw wasn't a bad one either, so we could conceivably have seen 24 pretty good solid rounds of boxing.
You know what's happening? Witherspoon has given Pinklon Thomas an opportunity to get a breather, and that's exactly what he needs. So Thomas will be content to stay on the outside and throw his jab and catch a breather every now and then.
It does appear that Pinklon Thomas may have an injury, a rib injury of some sort, because he was exhorting his handlers to keep the pressure off by releasing some of the elasticity on the band of his trunks.
His upper body movement, Thomas, he's great. I mean, he gets away from all those punches.
And there's no worse injury, I would think, for any athlete, let alone a boxer, than a rib injury, because it affects your breathing. Thomas is breathing through his mouth a little bit. Witherspoon is busy, but he's not punching.
Well, I tell you one thing, the fact that the way that Witherspoon is fighting now, Pinklon Thomas should be able to land more left jabs, especially against the ropes. I think Witherspoon at this point should be closer to his opponent, inside, and working the body more.
But he's running out of time. This is a 12-round fight, and this is round 11.
Witherspoon is constantly trying to land that left hook. A lot of times he'll wait and take a few shots and then retaliate with his punch. Well, his left hook. Like, just land.
Good solid left hook, and it stunned Pinklon Thomas. And there's that jab again.
It's a thing of beauty, bro. I mean, it's consistent, it's accurate, and it has a lot of power behind it. I think we're looking forward to an upset.
But it's looking more and more like it. Of course, I've seen some pretty funny-looking decisions in Las Vegas. I have to say that.
Come on, work it, get out. Work it, get out. Let's go.
Pinklin's really tired. He was about to throw his right hand, and then he changed his mind.
Pinklin Thomas fighting a defensive fight right at the moment.
Witherspoon's tired also.
Witherspoon trying to work downstairs. And if Thomas is bothered by a rib injury, sure doesn't show it.
I'm sure Angelo's going to say, 3 minutes, baby, and you're the champ.
I thought that was a very odd round for Tim Witherspoon. I don't know why he let up. He may have given up the championship in the 11th round.
Last round. Get his legs, Aaron. All right, get his legs. Come on. Wait your legs. Come on. Wake up, Tim. Hold your hips. Come on. Last round, right, Tim? Come on. It's the last round. Hey, Tim.
Ain't no more. Don't say it. There ain't no more.
Keep your right hand up, Pink. No. And get under that left hook.
Last round.
Give him a wrist.
You got it. Get all you want, baby.
Come on, hard. Come on. This is it. They're going to send him right out. They're going to send him right out to you.
Come on, Kay.
Keep your right hand up. Get under them
Keep
shots.
your hands up.
Don't wrap.
Hands up.
Under them shots.
Beat Pinklin Thomas for me. Will you? Come on,
Rip
go.
to the body.
Get out.
Well, the last thing Angelo Dundee said was beat Pinklin Thomas for me. Means that he's got a tired man. And Witherspoon knows that he pretty much has to go for it all here.
Oh, he's letting it all hang out now. So what Thomas has to do, in fact, Angelo's told him to keep those hands up. Witherspoon's going to be throwing everything.
This is it. This is the final 3 minutes. Thomas in a situation of dance with what brung you. And what has brung him has been a very solid left jab.
The left jab has been the key for Pinklin Thomas throughout the fight.
Crowd has really appreciated this fight, too. And in fact, it's interesting that even if Tim Witherspoon should lose this fight, he probably will have won more friends than he did in beating Greg Page for the title. Good shot to the heart by Pinklin Thomas.
I noticed there that Thomas brought that right hand up and was able to block the left hook thrown by Witherspoon.
Witherspoon is fighting the kind of fight that looks to me like he thinks he's got it won, rather than a guy who thinks he's behind.
Oh, that was beautiful body movement by Pinklin. Now this is where Witherspoon doesn't want to be against Pinklin Thomas. Those long arms and strong left jab will start to get through shortly. Watch for the right hand of Pinklin.
Quick right hand lead as Witherspoon leaned in on him. Crowd going into a chant here. Very appreciative crowd with good reason. Very good fight.
It's a very good fight. And a very impressive Pinklin Thomas. You know, it's been a rough night for Tim Witherspoon. He's really trying desperately. And the guy's really giving his all. But I think it's just a little too late.
And the fact is, too, as I said, he probably will have won more friends and maybe a better future, even if he loses this fight. And it ends in a flurry. There was a good right hand by Witherspoon, but a case, I believe, of too little, too late. At the bell, it's over. Each man hand held aloft, thinking he has won the fight. I think Pinklin Thomas has won the fight, but as I said, I've seen some very funny-looking decisions here in Las Vegas, Ray.
Well, I tell you, he was very impressive, very consistent. That left jab proved to be the key punch in the entire fight. Witherspoon had it tough. He was just too tight and just couldn't get his punches off.
So Pinklin Thomas being embraced in his corner. Angelo Dundee, I feel quite sure, thinks that he has another heavyweight champion. He has had two. One of them was named Ali, wasn't a bad fighter. The other one out of Ali's camp, former sparring partner Jimmy Ellis, and here tonight perhaps a third in Pinklin Thomas.
It'd be a great birthday gift for Angelo.
You know, the other thing that strikes me too is every time the mantle passes in the heavyweight division, everybody makes the comparison to Muhammad Ali, and I think in this case there is no comparison, Pinklin Thomas to Muhammad Ali. They're different types of fighters, and maybe finally the comparisons will stop.
Totally different styles, totally different personalities. There's always a different person in the heavyweight division.
And another factor to keep in mind too, because we have come to the way now that we are going to be decided upon by a decision. Remember the point that was taken away from Tim Witherspoon for backhanding. And that could have a profound effect on the outcome of this fight.
It's a costly point, especially in a fight as close as this one, Barry.
So Tim Witherspoon, who I would have to think, he says, I won it. You just saw him do that. And perhaps he has, but oftentimes you get a very different perspective of just what's going on from where we sit than you do when you're in there. I don't have to tell you that.
Well, a fighter can tell when he's, when he's behind on points, and at the end of the fight, there's a feeling that comes over you that you know that you didn't give it your best, and it's all downhill.
Well, it's very tough to say. Usually they say the challenger has got to bring the fight to the champion, but I think it's fair to say that Pinklin Thomas did in fact bring the fight to Tim Witherspoon tonight.
Well, Pinklin made the fight, and in fact, the left jab worked all night. It was a beautiful, beautiful display of a left jab.
All right, suspense is over. Let's go up to the ring announcer, Chuck Hall, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision. Judge Hal Miller scores 114 Witherspoon, 114 Thomas. Judge Dalby Shirley scores 115, 112. And Judge Dwayne Ford scores 116, 112. For the winner by majority decision and new WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Pinklin Pinky Thomas.
Well, we have a new champion. It simply could not have been any closer. I'm not sure I saw quite as close a fight as the judges did, but as I said, I've seen some strange things go on here. And what a long road it has been for Pinklin Thomas. Drug addiction, was a great athlete as a kid, turned to drugs, kicked the drugs, started fighting rather late in life. Credits his wife Kathy with being a big part of the success that has culminated with a victory in a championship in the heavyweight division tonight. He is a happy man. It has been a long road, and it is a very happy ending for Pinklin Thomas. So Thomas is the new champion of the WBC. Tim Witherspoon thought he won the fight. He had his hands held aloft. Chuck Hall, the ring announcer, keeping everybody in suspense until the last moment. Now it is no longer in suspense. And Larry Merchant is with the new champion, Pinklin Thomas. Larry?
Pinklin. Well, obvious, some pandemonium here and justified. Pinklin, you've come a long way. It's been a hard road. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, man, everything going through my mind right now. I don't know what to say. I got a little bit of tears in my eyes, but everybody seen the man cry. I'm just so happy. I can't believe it. I got to wake up in the morning and see the belt. I promised my little boy the belt. I'm going to give it to him in the morning for his birthday. This is just a great day for me.
Pinklin, you were complaining about your sore ribs later in the fight. What happened?
I wasn't complaining.
No?
I didn't have no hurts. I just seen my jab kept working for me. It was irritating me. He kept acting as I was thumbing him something.
Well, there was one picture that showed that you accidentally did thumb him. But when did you think that you had him under control and had his style solved?
Well, it was just a matter of figuring Tim out. I know he carried that cross-hand style, and I just really wanted to establish my jab and work things off of it. I felt the jabbing to his body, from his head to his body, took it from him because I seen his body didn't have no muscle tone to it. And I learned to hit a guy on his shoulders and the chest to the body, you know, and it takes the gas from him. I seen his legs in the 4th round. He was kind of wobbling, you know.
Were you tired in the last several rounds?
No, I was just pacing myself, really. My corner kept telling me to go, and I seen I had it under control. As long as he wouldn't hit me with nothing to bounce, and all I had to do was step back when he got ready to fire because I seen it coming.
Can you regroup your thoughts just for a moment? Talk about your wife, your child. This is one of the more unusual and touching stories of recent boxing history for you to come back from where you came from.
Yeah, my wife has been a great inspiration and a tool in my career, just like my hands and legs in the ring. And my kid also has had to go through all the trial and tribulation in here with us. And we've had to have we suffer, everybody go through them though. But from my background to my present right now, I'm just so happy, and I hope that, you know, from what I've accomplished will inspire all the people in the world, and I'm gonna try to be a great champion.
Quickly, what are your plans now? Who would you like to fight next?
Right now, I'm gonna go and just get with my wife. I wanted to show my boy the belt. I want to look at it. I said I wasn't gonna look at it until I won it, so I don't even know what it looked like. And then I want to just give me a little rest, and then you know, come back with something.
Thank you very much, Pinklon Thomas. And now back to Barry and Ray at ringside.
All right, thank you very much, Larry Merchant. And there